Well, a lot of people will be focused on this Skhainik's deal that they're going to do their buybacks, but they're going to be very curious about what happens there, because Skhainik's had been telling people that the ADRs in the United States, they raised around $26 billion or so equivalent there. That was to help with their capital expenditure. They have very big plans in Korea, and yet now they're using that money to buy back domestic stock. So what's the story here? People will be a little bit confused about the intentions of one of Korea's most important companies, particularly after the volatility in the stock there. So you may see initial gains in the Korean stocks, but whether there's any follow through, they need to explain very carefully. Samsung is raising prices on some of its products. That will certainly boost the market there as well. But you've got a fairly fluid situation here where investors will need a lot more convincing that there's traction in these moves for Asian equities in particular. The fact that currencies are going to start to do better, that is definitely a good sign for Asia, but people might start to move to the markets where there's been a bit of a lag. So they'll move beyond Korea and Taiwan, probably looking at Japan, Hong Kong, China for potential catch-up. It's the underdogs who may start to come through in Asia now.
Skhainik's shares in Seoul seeing some pretty chunky gains there, up by 8.2% now. This is after it revealed plans to buy back $29 billion worth of shares and return more profits to investors. It's an attempt to stabilise a stock price that's fallen almost 50% from a June peak. Let's get to our Seoul Bureau editor, Denny Thomas, now for more. So, Denny, this is something shareholders were quite keen to see happen. Did Skhainik's cave to the pressure, and what lasting impact is this greater concentration going to have on the share price?
Yeah, look, this has been something investors have been looking for, and the company outlined it will come out soon and say how they're going to reward shareholders. I think it does two things. One, it gives a confidence to the whole AI rally that they can sustain not only shareholder return and also, invest more into the business. So that's clearly a very positive sign. And their commitment to pay back more of the free cash flow, more than 50% of the free cash flow is better than people had expected. So two fronts, it's done well. Your question about how lasting this impact will be, clearly the volatility has receded a lot, but the investors still want to see a bit more of the continued demand into these chip demand coming through, and that'll kind of give us a sense of whether these rallies that we've seen this year will continue or not.
We've also got Samsung shares gaining a little bit more than 5% now in South Korea, and we've had a report this morning that it's going to be raising prices perhaps up to 15% for some advanced chip-making contracts. What more do we know about this?
Yeah, look, so I think there has been definitely on the street, we're hearing rumblings about both these companies able to raise prices. And this is further evidence that, these two companies are able to sustain, the ability to pass on the prices, high prices, and will continue to generate more operating profit. We haven't been able to independently verify it, but this is along the lines of what analysts and investors on the street have been thinking, and we're debating what the numbers could be. So 10 to 15% that's come out today is kind of in the ballpark that some people have been expecting.
All right, Bloomberg Seoul Bureau editor Denny Thomas there. We have more ahead on the Asia trade. This is Bloomberg.